She lost it, not her, her. She lost it on camera. She was giggling, and oh my God, trust me, guys, she lost it big time. Now, before I play the video, just want to tell you a few things, and also good time to remind you, if you're not subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing. Just want to remind you a few things here. This host that I have just shown you, and I'll play the video in a second, emphasized the growing belief that Epstein's death was not a suicide. They also talk about international investigation into Trump's involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. They have cited a forthcoming autopsy report. Forthcoming. This is a bombshell, probably. A lot of you have not heard about this. Autopsy report of Epstein's death is coming. So this is what they said, quote, citing a forthcoming autopsy report from Epstein's brother and newly released videos that contradict official accounts. Now, I want you to take a listen, and then I will add some comments.
The release of the Epstein files continue to be a source of complete and utter disaster for Donald Trump, because he, his kids, and all his cabinet and acolytes and sycophants, they're all in it ass deep. And so the Epstein death situation is not going away. As we talked about in an earlier episode, Epstein's brother is going to release this month a new autopsy report that he says will prove that Jeffrey Epstein was murdered. And then this from CBS News. CBS News reports who entered Epstein's jail tier the night of his death. Newly released videos appear to contradict official accounts. And just a reminder, Bill Barr was the head of the DOJ during the time that Epstein died, and Donald Trump was president. The video, the botched video Pam Bondi released, there is growing speculation, and I think it's going to be proven true. Epstein did not kill himself.
Well, you know, I've watched true crime for many decades and consider myself
an expert.
I consider myself an armchair pathologist. And in my own research of this, there's no question that he did not commit suicide. Now, I'm not qualified to make such a statement, but I think it's that obvious. And I know that we're in an area where we are not listening to experts. So I hope that Mark Epstein is his name, right, Pumps?
Yes.
Mark. I hope that he releases this, because I remember at the time thinking, what? He's dead? And I remember seeing the bed and the ceiling height and just kind of, you know, like I said, kind of calculating it from all of my history of watching Dateline in 2020, that this was impossible to do.
Absolutely. The biggest illegal immigrants, or if you want to call them legal, up to you, but I think they're so worse. The biggest two illegal immigrants in the States right now, can you tell me who they are? Number one is Elon Musk, and number two is Peter Thiel. Now, of course, they don't get caught. Of course, they don't hold accountable. The administration, they don't hold these two individuals accountable. But who they do? 5-year-old Liam. This boy is in the prison. Under Donald Trump's administration, as long as you have money, power, influence, and you can help Donald Trump, you are free man. You're free to go. We can go ahead and do whatever you want. You want to commit pedophilia, you want to kill people, you want to rape children, no problem. And so people really need to focus on the real criminals, not those innocent boys who are being locked up in jail. Take a listen a little bit more.
You know, all of this stuff that's come out in these files. And I just want to point out, a lot of people point this out online, and we need to point it out on here. There's not a drag queen in the Epstein files.
Right.
There is not a trans person. And the two immigrants that I see in the Epstein files are Elon Musk and Peter Thiel. They seem to be the criminal rapist apologists that Trump talked about when he descended that escalator, when he talked about criminal immigrants in this country that were taking jobs, they're bringing crime, they're bringing rapists. The evidence from the Epstein files shows me that the two criminal immigrants that have done this are Peter Thiel and Elon Musk, both of which
absolutely
are so unlikable and so weird. They have decided that they want to dismantle our country, Pumps, but they want to cheat to do it. They want to donate a bunch of money and rig it with a blackmailer pedophile like Jeffrey Epstein to get compromising information on people to do it, because they could never put their name on a ballot, immigrant to immigrant, and run against somebody like Zoran Mamdani or Robert Garcia. They would win. The populist Democrats that speak for universal human rights, that do it the right way, that don't cheat, I bet it would be 80% in Zoran or Robert Garcia's favor if he ran against an Elon Musk or Peter Thiel. But these guys are too big of pussies to run.
Well, now, I want to also highlight one very important point here. And that is Donald Trump, he's running a religious cult, and these two ladies will be discussing that as well. His cult, this religious cult, is supporting him. Why? Well, they are suggesting that they have no issue, these cults, they have no issue with child pedophilia, and they draw parallels between political movements and cults, often having a sexual component. And these two ladies, again, this is what they're going to be discussing, that Donald Trump's cult, religious cult, has so many things, so many ways you can look at it. And whichever way you look at it, you will see something very, very common in all sphere of it. And that is, they are sexually deviant people, members in that cult. Now, these hosts, these two ladies will claim that Epstein was compromised by Russia and Israel, quote unquote, compromised by Russia and Israel, and used as a honeypot operation, quote unquote, to gather compromising information on powerful individuals. International investigations into Epstein's network by authorities in France, Poland, UK, Lithuania, if I'm saying it right, are highlighted as a crucial step towards accountability, as the U.S. government is perceived as unwilling to prosecute those involved. And they will discuss more. I'll take a listen.
They're too big of a pussy to do anything. They don't want to be challenged ever. They have created a world, this billionaire world. How I view it is they sit around and tell each other how great they are and think everybody needs to hear from me because I'm so smart and great. But they're not even really attached to reality because they're not living in the same world that we normal Americans that are working live in. And they are willing to sacrifice their souls to get in bed and business with a fucking pedophile sex trafficker to make themselves feel better. It's gross. And you know who's the worst among that group? Is Donald Trump, the lying piece of shit that said to Ghislaine Maxwell, I wish her well. And we're like,
make your move.
And not only that, guys, his wife, Melania, had good and very close relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, of course, they are going to be denying all of this. Oh, I had no idea who Ghislaine is. But Melania Trump, according to this new email that was released by DOJ, among those 3 million emails, one email showed Melania Trump, she was referring Ghislaine Maxwell as quote-unquote G, the G. I mean, who you refer to with that kind of name? Of course, that person has to be close to you. You know that person very well. You have socialized with that person, took part in her activities. And when we talk about Ghislaine Maxwell's activities, we talk about child pedophilia. So Melania Trump, you are caught. You are caught big time.
know her. He says he really wasn't friends with Epstein at the time, which through these files, we're finding out it's all a bunch of lies. So I want to post this from the Epstein files. Jennifer, you're going to have to read it because you know I'm blind, but this was extremely enlightening.
Who wrote this?
This was written by the Assistant U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York regarding Ghislaine Maxwell's criminal case.
Okay, and this was written January 7th, 2020, listener. For your situational awareness, wanted to let you know that the flight records we received yesterday reflect that Donald Trump traveled on Epstein's private jet many more times than previously has been reported or that we were aware, including during the period we would expect to charge in Maxwell case. In particular, he is listed as a passenger on at least 8 flights between 1993 and 1996, including at least 4 flights on which Maxwell was also present. He is listed as having traveled with, among others, and at various times, Marla Maples, his daughter Tiffany, and his son Eric on one flight in 1993. He and Epstein are the only 2 listed passengers on another. The only 3 passengers are Epstein, Trump, and then 20-year-old name redacted. On 2 other flights, 2 of the passengers respectively were women who would be possible witnesses in a Maxwell case. We've just finished reviewing the full records, more than 100 pages of very small script, and didn't want any of this to be a surprise down the road.
Okay, so the third passenger with Trump and Epstein, according to what I understand from all of this, was Melania Trump. And Trump met Melania in that plane during that flight, and Epstein helped her to hook up with Trump, his mistress at that time, probably, who knows. Later on, he married her, obviously, as we know. But guys, this whole family is so evil. And all of them are involved in all of this. And we know Ivanka Trump also met the victims of Donald Trump when she was 13 years old, according to, again, these are all allegedly, according to those emails. So the whole family is involved in all of this. Unbelievable. Subscribe for more videos in the next one.